Welcome to Sunrise Institution. This is Anmula, Polity. Today we are discussing about historical underpinnings of the Indian Constitution. So simply we can call it as a historical background. So historical background, nothing but the Constitution before the story. That means before the existence of the Constitution, how rulers, that means the administration system, how it will be. So if you go BC period, like Plato and Aristotle times, BC 300 around. At the time, Plato was one of the philosopher. He defined, first he was the person defined about the Constitution. That means he said the rulers must be ruled on the basis of the law. Example, the earlier, that means BC period and even the AD period also, most of the states ruled by kings. And kings, they will rule on their own conventions, traditions, cultures. So on this basis they ruled the people, and it was called a single person administration. That means simply we can call individual administration. And the system of this individual administration continued so long. Thousands of years the same system continued. Plato said, the rulers, either the rulers become philosophers or philosophers become rulers. But his disciple Aristotle said, better the individual ruling system, the ruling system should be on the basis of law. And we know that the fundamental law of the land, Constitution. So he studied around Aristotle. Aristotle studied around 158 countries constitutions, and Aristotle had written Politics, a book. After studying of 158 countries constitutions, he written a book is called Politics. Why he written that book and why he said the Constitution is essential for the ruling? Because most of the rulers in those days, maybe they are providing welfare to the people, but whenever the kings become autocratic or dictators, then people life was completely distressed. So that better the rulers can be follow some rules and regulations and principles, then the people also know about the rules and regulations, the mutual transformation of the rulers and the people. There compulsory the king or ruler cannot be become as a autocratic. This is the main idea of the Aristotle. So on this basis, the first polity or polity word also taken importance. Now come to the point here, we are discussing, this is the historical story background of the Constitution. Now our Indian Constitution, history of the Indian Constitution. History of the Indian Constitution. History of the Indian Constitution. So our history of the Indian Constitution begins with Britishers' entry. So when Britishers came The Britishers entered 1600 AD as traders. 1600 AD as traders, British East India Company came. And this East India Company was only they came to our country as a traders, and they started trading with our kings and other traders. But whenever they observed in our India, we have a lot of wealth. So in our language we can say it was full of wealth, golden sparrows. So whenever they observed, they wanted to exploit and they wanted to drain all these wealth to England. Whenever they get this idea, slowly they try to control and they try to involve in the administration pattern. So easily our kings cannot be accept the interference of the East Indian companies. So that whenever the agreements made in between the kings and the East Indian Company, they act a dual role. First they said, yes, we are only traders, but we are also ready to provide financial assistance. Whenever the kings need, they provided financial assistance. Whenever some of the kings, they took the finance from them, to repay back that finance, slowly they taking powers from the kings. At this time, one of the incident was happened in 1764, Battle of Buxar. Battle of Buxar occurred. So in this Battle of Buxar, British East India Company defeated the then Mughal Emperor Shah Alam. So whenever they defeated, they got Diwani rights. In 1765, British East India Company got Diwani rights. Diwani rights on three important places, that is Bihar, Orissa and Bengal. So on these three areas, whenever East India Company got Diwani rights, what is the meaning of Diwani rights? To means to collect taxes from these three areas from the people. So whenever they got this right, it was given impression East India Company slowly enter in the political matters of the India. So whenever these Diwani rights started, immediately we can understand British East India Company slowly acquiring administration powers. At this time, Warren Hastings was governor. Made collector word or used collector word, because these Diwani right means collecting taxes. So Warren Hastings was appointed the people who collecting the taxes, they called collectors. The word first they used Warren Hastings, the word collector word in 1772. In the year of 1772, the collector word used by the Warren Hastings. So this East India Company, whenever they are trading in India, but the company was not becoming or earning amounts. Finally, East India Company became debt. 1 million pounds, because British currency is called pounds. Generally the symbol of pounds will be like this. 1 million pounds they debt. But how the East India Company debt means most of the company officers who became very rich by this trading. Instead of company become rich, officers became rich. Then immediately company went to British Queen. At the time Queen said, what is this? Actually company should earn huge amounts. For that reason British government was given permission to trade in India, but this company completely lost its revenue. And whenever company and asking financial assistance from the British Queen said, we ready to provide again that 1 million pounds of the currency. On those days the 1 million means it can be trillions and millions of rupees at the time, crores of rupees, trillions and million crores, because the period was 1772-73, right? Instead the British Queen providing 1 lakh million pounds, she asked control on the trading. Now East India Company accepted, okay, we ready to your provision, and we are accepting, yes, what you are thinking we are accepting. That means British Queen said, we make some rules and regulations for controlling, because you are not controlling the officers. So East India Company accepted. By this way, the first time British Crown made controlling powers on the East Indian Company. That controlling power is called Charter Acts. Actually you see, charter means one agreement. Charter means agreement. So what is the agreement? It is an agreement between East India Company and British Crown. East India Company and British Crown. So whenever this agreement was made, it is a permission to the East India Company to trade in India. To trade in India. Right? So after 1772, the British Crown made Charter Acts. Charter Acts. See here, Charter Act 1773, 1781, 1784 and 1793, 1813, 1833, 1853. So all these are called Charter Acts, and this time it is ruling period is called Company Rule. Company Rule, right? And after that 1858 Council Acts. The Council Act started with 1858 and 1861, 1892, 1909, 1919 and 1935 and in 1947. All these are called Council Acts. So we will discuss about each and every act, because now 1773 Charter Act, the first Charter Act is called 1773. Total Charter Acts were 1773, 1793, 1813, 1833, 1858. Here the span or spell in between each 20 years. That means British Crown was given 20 years term to trade in India. Every 20 years they are regulating. Okay, now come to the point. The first Charter Act 1773, what it is? 1773, the first act of the 1773 is also called 1773 Charter Act. So what are the important points? Control and regulate. Control and regulate. As per the 1773 Charter Act, British Crown, why it made this act means to control and regulate the East India Company. Control and regulate means the officers who are corrupted and earning huge amounts more than the East Indian Company, they wanted to control. And for this control, they appointed one of the person, Lord Burgoyne. It was a secret committee of the British Crown. As per this British secret committee, they sent the message, yes, officers completely corrupted. Then immediately on the basis of the Lord Burgoyne's committee, they made this Charter Act to control and regulate. That's what it is called, Charter Act control. Okay. Now come to the point, in this Charter Act, what they made importance means, Governor of Bengal made Governor General. Governor General. Governor of Bengal made Governor General of Bengal. Because initially the places where actually in India there was a 3 places. This is completely Bengal, and here it is Madras, Bombay. This is Bombay. So each and every province, these 3 provinces as governors, and all these governors have independent on the executive powers and legislative powers. But by this act, they made all these governors' powers transferred to Bengal governor and made Bengal governor as a general. So these 2 people only using executive powers, but legislative powers completely given to the Governor General. Now whenever the Governor General made, he provided council of 4 members, because he should assist by these 4 members who are in the council, that is called Calcutta Council, or it is also called Calcutta 4. All these 4 members assist, or they are subordinate to the Governor General, making in the laws or implementing in the laws. Now it was also said started centralizing. That means the power started to centralized. So this act, it is very important. Most of the time the question is asking from which act the British government was trying to centralizing the administration. Charter Act 1773 was made or started centralizing, because the legislative powers was transferred to the Governor General, and he made as a Governor General. The first Governor General of Bengal, who is the first General of Governor of Bengal, means Warren Hastings. But unfortunately, what is the main idea of the British government, British Queen? They wanted to control and regulate. But unfortunately, the East Indian Company, the act was not fulfilled its wishes, because it was failed. Why it was failed? East India Company was not to cooperate. Whenever they came to Queen and asking the financial assistance, they said everything will be, anytime, always we will be ready to cooperate. But they are not cooperated with the British Queen, so that this act was completely failed. After this act, 1781, it is not important one, 79 Settlement Act, Act of Settlement. Settlement Act, or else it is called Act of Settlement. Now 1784, Pitt's India Act. After that, every 20 years interval, the government was providing charter acts to the East India Company for every 20 years. So this is the first charter act we are discussing, right? Now we continue every time as usual the same time, and after the completion of this each and every topic we will discuss about the questions also. Thank you.